Hi everyone, this is Olga and thank you for joining me again. Do subscribe to the channel if you find the content useful and don't forget to like the video. Comment down below what you're taking out for yourself. So today the topic is laziness and why it's not a problem but actually only a symptom. So this is what we're going to be talking about. And before we go any further, I do want to stress that this is really important. By forcing yourself to do something and getting yourself together and getting things done, don't be lazy, that kind of attitude doesn't really solve the problem. It only aggravates it, because obviously laziness is not a problem, it's only a symptom. So what could hide behind it? First thing that it could be is when you're tired and you actually need rest. In extreme cases, it could be physical or mental exhaustion when you're literally getting sick. Everyone has a colleague who only ever got sick when they are on holidays, and they never allow themselves to be sick while they're at work, but whenever there is a chance. Because the body can't take things forever. We can only push ourselves that far until we break. The problem is with our culture that always praises overachievement and, going faster, harder, higher, whatever. Successful success and all of that kind of stuff. Pushing for success can be a genuine goal to yourself if it's aligned with your values, but it's not for everyone. And also the definition of success sometimes can be problematic. And if your definition of success doesn't allow any time for leisure and rest, it's very problematic and can hit hard when it gets too much. So what can we do instead? Plan restful activities and downtime, resting time. And by the way, when you are lying down on the couch watching a TV show and being hard on yourself for not being productive and not doing anything, that's not real rest. If you're too busy being hard on yourself, you're not really resting. So give up the worry, trust that there will be enough time to be productive later on, and just rest and enjoy it. Let yourself really recharge. Number two, what could hide behind laziness is you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. There are things we don't want to do. And when we grow up, it may be really hard to say no to a parent or another important figure in your life, like a teacher, like, I don't really want to do homework, so I'm not going to. No, instead, our passive way of being rebellious about it and refusing to do it is by being lazy. And as we grow up, we transfer it into ourselves and onto other things. So now we ourselves label ourselves lazy when we just don't want to do something. It's actually the same when you're too lazy to call someone or too lazy to go visit someone or check up on someone, do something for someone else. When there is a covered conflict between you and that person, you have a conflict, you don't really want to talk to them, but it's not acceptable to say, well, I don't really want to talk to my parents, or I don't really want to talk to my grandma, or whoever that other person is. Instead, it's more acceptable to say, I'm lazy, because you're kind of saying it in a way that, well, I know it's a problem, I know it's bad, but I'm kind of lazy, so I am going to call them, but I'm kind of just lazy. You get the gist. So both when it's about something we don't want to do and something we don't want to connect to someone else, we are not allowing ourselves to have boundaries and to say no and to not want certain things in our life. What you could do instead? Well, growing up inside, assuming that we are responsible for our own choices, we're not obliged to do anything that anyone else wants us to do. We are adults and we do get to choose. And once you've done that, and once you've accepted that you have a choice, it's just about negotiating and saying no to things that you don't want to. Even if in the beginning it feels a bit weird and you're not quite used to it, but it gets easier with practice, like anything. Number three, it's kind of connected to the previous one, but it's slightly different. So you don't want to do it because you've changed your mind. So you used to want to do it, like maybe you wanted to go dancing and you were going dancing and you were really enjoying it and everything was great. And then you just kind of started getting lazy to get out and go dancing. And you're just lazy to do it. But maybe you just don't find it interesting anymore. It's not as interesting. Things change, people change, we change, our interests change. That's normal. So what you could do instead is just accept that your tastes may change with time that your interests may change, that your priorities may change. Maybe something was important to you before, but it's not anymore. There's one bit here that is important to keep in mind. If it happens very early on, and especially about something that you were very interested in, it could be just a resistance, especially if you're not quite good at it yet. We do get the resistance when we fail at something. That's life, but hold on, we will talk about the resistance and the internal blocks later on in the video. Number 4, what could hide behind being lazy is when we get disconnected from our own priorities and values. So our time and our efforts are chewed up by things that are not that important to us, but they may appear urgent, they may appear important because other people say that they are, but they're not actually important to us. But because of them and them chewing up so much of our time, the things that are important to us, we just don't have the energy to do them anymore. And we can't just say that, well, I'm tired because I've been doing all this other stuff. We say, well, I'm lazy. And we might even get hard on ourselves for being lazy about things that we actually do care about. What you could do to get around that is, well, get in touch with your priorities and your own values and allow yourself to not do the rest. It may not be that important to have spotless clean kitchen every single day of the year, 24/7. Maybe sometimes you just don't care about it. Or maybe you could delegate it. Maybe you could hire someone to come in and clean your kitchen, once a week or something. It doesn't matter. But certain things may not be as important. And it's fine to cross them out. So accept and ditch what you don't need. And there may be times when there are so many things that are all very important to our hearts, but we are procrastinating and we feel lazy about doing them, but actually it's just a matter of choosing one of them. And the truth is, it's not about limiting yourself and saying to yourself, well, I can't do everything, life is hard, you can't have all you want. No, that's not true. That's really not true. But you probably can't do everything at once. It's a bit hard to sit on the beach, have a massage, have a chat with your friend, dance, paint, play harp, and recite in the local poet slam all at the same time. You could maybe squeeze them all in one day if you wanted to, but you don't have to, but you could. But it's probably a bit hard to do all of them all in the same time. So what I'm suggesting is not giving up things and not doing them ever, but rather trusting that there will be other chances to do them, that there will be time to do everything that is important and close to your heart, but you can just focus on what you're doing right now and allow yourself to choose, what do I want to do right now? Number 5, what could be hiding behind laziness is when the task is just so big and abstract, vague, we just don't know how to go about it. Something big that you've never ever done before and you're just like puzzled, like, oh, I have no idea. That can be confusing and we end up calling it, well, I'm just lazy, when in fact I'm just confused, I don't know how to start. What you could do instead, you can try splitting it up. Think of what pieces you can break this big giant into. Eat the elephant in piece by piece. Don't suggest eating elephants, I'm kind of more vegan than anything, but anyway. Try to identify one thing that gets you closer to getting that task done. If it's buying a house, maybe it's defining what type of house you want. How big should it be? What needs to be in there? Do you need a bathtub? Do you want a walk-in shower? Do you want a backyard or a balcony? What kind of area does it need to be in, etc.? That could be a step. And when you're defining that one step that can get you closer to your big task, try to also think of something where you're not dependent on any other things happening before you can do that step. Are you waiting for any other inputs before you can communicate what kind of house you're after to your real estate agent? Do you need to talk to your partner first and agree with them what those requirements are before you can communicate them to your real estate agent? Another thing you could do here is ask for advice from someone who's done it before. There's most likely at least one person around you who has done before what you have never done. If there isn't anyone you know personally, there's most likely someone you can find on the internet who has shared on their blog about how to do it on YouTube here or anywhere else. There's lots of information out there. You can find advice, you can find information. There may be an online course about it. You know, if you've never done web design before, there's most likely an online course about it. So ask for advice, ask for help, ask for guidance if you don't know how to do something. Number 6, and probably my favorite, though when I'm thinking about it, I kind of do like rest and the idea that certain things we just don't want to do. So top 3, limiting beliefs and whatever emotional blocks that we carry. They can also show up as being lazy. When you kind of want to do something, but you're not really doing it. You just want it, you know, you kind of like the idea of it, but you're not actually acting on it. Why this could be? Well, that's kind of a tricky question because we need to get into your head and figure out what's going on inside there. And you could do it with a counselor or therapist or a coach, whatever closer to you in approach. Try that. It's definitely working. Whichever approach you take definitely works, and you can get great results and you can get lost in change in that area. I'll give you one example of what it could be. And many people can relate to it, I know for certain, because I've heard it many times. Perfectionism. When we don't start doing something because we want to get it exactly right and exactly perfect, and we'd rather not do it at all than do it imperfectly. Or sometimes it just feels that doing it perfectly is so much effort that we're just like, oh, I don't have the energy for that. Again, if you recognize yourself in that description, if you have some perfectionism to you, maybe bring it into a coaching session or into a therapy session with your therapist. Look at it. There may be stuff behind it that you can unpick and make your life easier, happier, nicer. Why not? And in the meantime, I know coaching, therapy can take some time before you really get that thing in order and like not stopping you so much anymore. In the meantime, what you can do is try and create the easiest circumstances for yourself to do that thing that you want to do, but you can't really get around doing. For example, if it's painting, maybe try setting up your painting corner in your house, if you have space for it. Somewhere where all of your colors, all of your brushes, all of your papers are all there, all set. All you need to do is just sit there, pick up the brush and start painting. Or even easier, maybe sign up for a class where all you need to do is just show up and they will give you all of the materials. They will give you what to paint. They will give you options of what to paint. They will give you guidance how to paint, and you can just enjoy the process. All you need to do is show up. I actually really like that for my dancing. I don't dance at home very much, but I do like coming to a dance class where all I need to do is just show up. Well, maybe bring my pants with me, you know, the yoga pants. That's really about it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do like and subscribe if it's been helpful. It really helps growing the channel and helps other people find this content as well. And have a great week. I'll see you all next Wednesday.